Good day to all. Welcome to Extreme Recap. In 2169, scientists discovered a means to permanently prevent people from reaching 25 years of age. As a result, there was a crisis of overpopulation. To combat this, the government implemented a time currency system in which time can be earned through labor and used to purchase goods and services. On each arm, there is an internal clock that keeps track of your account balance. You end up dying when you run out of time. Poor people are barely making ends meet as inflation and interest rates on time loans rise. Will Sales resides in Dayton, a poor neighborhood. Rachel, his mother, who is 50 years old. He goes to get a beer with his friend Barrel one evening after finishing his factory work shift. They notice a well-dressed man buying drinks for everyone as they talk. Will manages to get a glimpse of his arm, and he realizes that the man has served 116 years in prison. The man attempted to assist. Will tries to tell him that he doesn't belong there and to warn him. He is blown off by the man. Minutemen, a gang, attempted to rob the wealthy man of his time shortly thereafter. The bar explodes into chaos. Will assists the wealthy man in escaping. He expresses his gratitude and refers to himself as Henry. He explains to Will how the entire time currency system is intended to enslave the poor and gradually kill them, while the wealthy enjoy eternal life. He gives it to Will because he thinks no one should live that long. They end up sleeping in an abandoned building after Will declines his offer, while Will is still asleep at sunrise. He takes his own life after Henry hands over his remaining time to him. Will realizes what Henry has done when he wakes up. He goes to the barrel after leaving the building. In the wake of hearing the story, Burrell cautions him to watch out. Will informs him that he intends to relocate to Greenwich, a wealthy city, with his mother. Will gives Beryl a decade to acknowledge his friendship over the years. Rachel is required to pay more than anticipated while she is at the bank to transfer her monthly loan payment because the interest rate has increased. She takes the bus home with only 90 minutes remaining. A surprise for her. She is kicked off the bus because the fares have increased to 2 hours per ride. She begins to run home in an effort to reach Will so that he can give her enough time to survive when she realizes she only has a short amount of time. Spots are making their way toward Will, who is waiting at the bus stop. He runs toward her as soon as he realizes what has transpired. Rachel's clock runs out just as he reaches her, and she dies in his arms. After some time has passed, the law enforcement agency known as Timekeepers come across Henry's body. When they see Will on the street camera, they think he must have been involved in Henry's death. Will, on the other hand, has cleaned up and is able to blend in with Greenwood's wealthy residents. He plays poker at a casino one evening and wins 1,000 years. Philip Weiss, the wealthy bank owner, is impressed with Will's performance. His daughter, Sylvia, is as well. Will accepts an invitation to a party at their house and falls in love with Sylvia after seeing her. Will meets the Felix family and other wealthy individuals when he arrives at the mansion in a fancy car. He comes up to Sylvia, who is being watched by guards around. They move. Will is successful in persuading her to have more fun and let loose. Sylvia concurs, and the two end up swimming in the ocean together. Sylvia's father yells for her during their moment together. Will and Sylvia hurry back to the party and act as though nothing has happened. When Raymond and the other timekeepers arrive, the party is cut short. About 1,000 years after Henry's death, they begin questioning Will. Will is truthful. However, Raymond does not trust him. Will is left with 2 hours after they retrieve the 1,000 years, as they prepare to detain him. Will is able to escape the office's attacks and take Sylvia hostage. He escapes in a car and returns to Dayton. The car ends up going off the road when it gets caught in the Minuteman's web on its way back. When they collide, Will and Sylvia both fall asleep. The rest of the Minute saw men approaching the car, including Fortis, the gang leader. They begin depleting your balance as a result of the fact that Sylvia has a lot of time on her. They hear the sounds of the police and flee before they can finish. Sylvia starts to panic when she sees her wrist when she wakes up. Will Combs maintains that the majority of people are content with their daily lives. In the hope that he will give them some time, they go to the barrel. But when Will gets there, his wife tells him that Beryl killed himself by drinking too much. They start running toward the nearby pawn shop with only 3 minutes each, where they sell Sylvia's diamond earrings for 48 hours. They stay the night in a motel. Will calls Philip and asks for a ransom of 1,000 years to be transferred by sunrise. He has been located by the timekeepers, who are monitoring the conversation. The following day, they arrive, but no ransom has been paid. Sylvia becomes enraged and asserts that her father has no interest in her. Will decides to let her go after reassuring her. They end up kissing each other, and he gives her a gun to protect her. He sits there while Sylvia uses the payphone to call her father. Sylvia and her father begin to quarrel. Sylvia notices that Raymond is getting closer to Will during their conversation. She shoots Raymond after screaming to warn him. Raymond is injured but recovers. Will tries to take his time, but he realizes that he doesn't have much time. Raymond informs him that timekeepers typically do not carry a lot of time to deter robbers. Will moves him 4 hours away and steals his car, Sylvia. Soon after, Will decides to hijack another vehicle because driving a police car will draw too much attention to them. The radio informs them that they are wanted, so they conceal the vehicle under a tree. Raymond tells Philip that his daughter does not want to be saved when he returns to him. Raymond tells Philippe that he has issued a warrant for his daughter and that Philip will be arrested if he assists her in any way. Philippe tries to bribe Raymond into saving her anyway. Sylvia, we'll show you how to shoot. They also become more entwined. They drive through one of Sylvia's father's banks in an armored vehicle. Additionally, the bank is taking as many time boxes as they can transport. The onlookers are also encouraged to take. The crowd becomes irrational and begins to steal the boxes. Will and Sylvia begin allocating time in Dayton. While they are having intimate wills one night in a motel. He has a feeling that something is wrong. It turns out that Raymond has been successful in following them. As Raymond fires at them, they manage to sneak out of the motel and climb to the roof. They were able to locate a bus. They are stopped by the bus driver, who tells them that they look familiar and points to a wanted poster nearby. Will extorts him. Also, the transport drives off, abandoning Raymond. Fortis and the other Minutemen, on the other hand, are enraged by the fact that Will has been given free time throughout the community. They gather innocent people and question them in an effort to locate Will. They begin by emptying the clocks of each individual, until a man steps forward and gives the information to the group. While they are having a private moment, Will and Sylvia have booked a hotel. They are held at gunpoint after Fortis and the gang break in. Will hears from Fortis that he has been told to keep order in Dayton and that the timekeepers will leave him alone as long as he steals time from his own people, to distract him. Will is informed by Fortis that they will compete in a game to see who can empty the clock of the other person. Will says that Fortis is dead because he lost time in the game or because the other members of the gang shot him if he won. Will is compelled to play when Fortis informs him that he has no choice. It's a simple game. The men are shackled arm in arm. The person who has the upper grip steals time from the person who has the lower grip. When they begin, Sylvia is watching as Fortis quickly gains control. Will's time is rapidly passing. Fortis gets arrogant and looks over to see how long Will still have. That instant, he loses focus, and Will takes control. While the other members of the gang get closer and get ready to shoot Will, he shoots the other person with a gun from his boot. He is able to empty Fortis' clock, which causes him to die. Will and Sylvia flee the scene. They observe that the loan interest rate has increased to 37% while running. Will becomes enraged and declares that nothing they have done up until this point has had any effect and that they cannot improve the lives of the poor. Sylvia inquires, what would it take to change things? Will estimates 1 million years. Sylvia has a strategy. She gives in to her father the next day. Will manages to kidnap Philip while she is speaking with him, successfully posing as one of his guards. They proceed toward his vault, where they find a single time box with 1 million years in it. Philip gives them a heads up and assures them that it won't affect the system. Philip can't leave because Will and Sylvia shoot the digital key in the room as they leave the location. Because of this, in the headquarters of timekeepers, the alarm goes off. Sylvia and Will return to Dayton. While traveling, they start to run after Raymond and the other timekeepers. Raymond orders the others to shoot the vehicle on location, yet Will and Sylvia figures out how to move away. Raymond hits their car from the side as they approach Dayton. Will manages to escape, hands the box to the local charity worker, who immediately begins handing it out to the community. In a bid for time, an increasing number of people rush toward the charity man. While Sylvia and Will run away, Raymond makes an effort to follow them, recognizing that he is running out of time. Raymond requests additional transfers when he calls the headquarters. He climbs into his vehicle and drives until he finds them. He eventually locates Will and Sylvia and fires at them with a gun. Just as they are about to be arrested, he dies when he realizes that he has not yet filled his clock. That instant, there is less than 1 minute left for Will and Sylvia. Will grabs the free time that was given to him by the headquarters and makes his way to Raymond's car. He runs toward Sylvia after filling up his clock. He manages to transfer at the last moment, and both of them survive. After a short while, timekeepers are watching the news, which shows that poor people in Dayton have enough time to enjoy life and can afford to cross zones. They conclude that multiple zones have already been lost. Sylvia and Will receive a bounty of 100 years in the future. They get ready to pull the biggest heist in, thinking that their work isn't done until all the zones are free.